The topic today is to poison or not to poison. And we'll start off with the first moral dilemma, which is: you see your spouse put poison in the coffee in order to poison or kill you, but due to nervousness, you see them put poison in their own coffee instead. They are just about to take their first sip. Do you tell them that they have the poison coffee or let them drink it?
Oh boy.
Grim, grim, grim. And my co-host Ali will be giving you all the megaphones so we can hear you. Your voice matters. When Ali says it does. Toby, you are the first one to begin.
I wish I was. I'm gonna go and sit on the other side next time so I get more time to think. Ooh, I don't know, because they'd bring it on themselves. You could just. Well, but then again, if you did let them drink it and they die, who's the finger going to be pointed at? Me. They'll be like, oh, I poisoned them, so I'd probably stop them for that reason. I don't want it coming back on me for any reason. So I would stop them.
All right.
Good point.
Next we have Harry Hauler. A lot of space on the couch. Hello, Harry. Welcome.
Yeah, everyone else ran away.
Hey, and welcome back.
Hey, so I think I would I would tell them that they poisoned the coffee, and the reason is, partially because, I would like them to kind of, I don't know if they could be put to justice, like the way the justice system works and everything. I'm not a person who likes anyone to be punished by death. So no death penalty for anything. So I think they would need to get time so they could understand what they did, and maybe some sort of punishment in that sense. But yeah, I wouldn't let them drink it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kristen, hello.
Hi, welcome.
Welcome. Good to see you.
Hello.
Again.
Thank you.
Why so far away?
Oh, because there was no couch room. Now there is, so I think I'm gonna move. I think, my first immediate thought was karma, right? Like, oof, man, is this karma? But, I also wouldn't want to see them die. I feel like I'd be pretty dang sad if my spouse died, even if they were trying to kill me. So I think I turn it around on them and slip the unpoisoned coffee and say, listen, I saw you poison your own coffee. I think that was meant for me. And let them sweat it out a little bit. And let them, think that they poisoned themselves. And, call the cops so they can get saved. And have them tell on themselves. That's my thought.
Awesome.
I think that's where I'd go with that.
I also believe in karma. Always comes back, right? Strange humorist. Hi and welcome. Just waiting for you to accept megaphone. Would you like to speak or pass?
I'll pass.
Hi, welcome. Okay, sure.
Thanks.
JVB, hi, welcome. How are you?
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Hi. Hi. Let's see. Literally, no, I wouldn't let them poison themselves. I just wouldn't want to have to deal with the ambulance people and the lawyers. So I would say literally no. Morally, yeah, I would let them, sleep in the bed that they made. All of this not before I called Dateline camera crew to come and make an episode out of it with a good contract. Other than that.
Sorry. Thank you, JVB. Awesome. Ultra Funky. Hi and welcome.
Hi, thank you. Wow, this was a good one. I'm always going out from the perspective that I did something, to make this person push that person over the edge to poison me. So I'm thinking like, what did I do wrong to sit here with this person? I was thinking, if I let them drink the coffee and they will die, I can never ask them what was the reason for doing this. So I would like to know why this person was trying to do this to me, and that was the most important thing. So I would probably not let them drink the coffee, just to have answers, and I think that everybody can better themselves, because if they can meet me and tell me things, I at least can respond and maybe make something better for that person, instead of letting anybody die in this situation. So yeah, this is how I think anyway.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you as well. Dr. Sam, hi and welcome. Welcome back.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Timon. Yeah, great question. So I feel, the first question I would definitely ask myself is, did she have a previous husband, and did he also die from mysterious death? So maybe because I don't eat mushrooms, and there were mushrooms. Yeah, there were mushrooms on on the dinner. She resorted to the coffee. So if the previous husband died with mysterious circumstances, I'd let her have her coffee. But I would have liked to have integrated maybe JVB's thinking at the same time, and try and make some money out of this. So of course get a movie going. But I think Ultra Funky actually knocked the nail on the head. Is that if this is a decent person and in desperation needed to eliminate me, I've got to do some introspection and say, hold it, why does this person want to get rid of me? Obviously, if I have a big insurance policy, that would be a good motivation. If she's behaving strangely over the last couple of months, couple of years, maybe she's got a lover and I'm not suitable for her. But there certainly needs to be some introspection. So from a moral point of view now, I would say to her, look, I think you've switched cups, you're self-poisoning, I need some answers, and maybe we need to look at some legal ramifications. That's my response.
Thank you, Dr.
Right,
Sam.
thank you.
Excellent.
As you started, I was thinking of the joke with the mushrooms, and then you brought it up, and that just set me off.
Oh, Ali,
with the
you can tell the joke. I think maybe South Africans.
I will kill it. I think Dr. Sam will do a better job. I'm not in the position to say the joke right now.
All right.
My dad always tells me that joke. It gets me every time. I love it. So we definitely need to come back to it.
Okay.
Dr. Sam would love to hear it.
To those who've just joined, hello and welcome to the Moral Dilemma. You can most definitely take a seat on the couch. Even if you don't want to speak, you may pass. But I want you guys to feel comfortable. And if this is the first time that you're here, then make sure you join VR Digital Citizens in our group. Hello, Aziz. Good to see you again. And if you do want to say something, so as you can see, the dilemma is behind us for the day, you can raise your hand. I see it's a full house now. And so we would like to hear your voice. But let's go to Yellow Majesty.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Howdy, all. Just before I continue, I must say something to Dr. Sam. Do you know that you sound exactly like Michael Caine when you speak? The actor Michael Caine. You're very similar to him in your accent and your voice. I just wanted to say that before I forget it. Okay, so I think the previous speakers have pretty much covered all bases. From a moral point of view, I wouldn't allow her to drink her own poison. But what I would do, I would actually conduct a social experiment. I would ask her to exchange her cup with me and see what happens. So if she gets my cup, because she believes that the poison is in my cup, and I know that the poison is in hers, so I would just sit there and stare at her and see if she takes a sip or not, and create a Seinfeld moment out of the whole situation. So it becomes really awkward and hilarious. And after that, I would actually expose her and ask her why she wanted to poison me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Yellow Majesty.
Same wavelength.
Nice,
there.
nice
Thanks.
twist.
Awesome.
Exact. Yeah, same. Let's go to Tom. Tom, how's it going there?
Hi and welcome. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Tom, hi.
Excellent. Hello, hello. Interesting. I have a kind of a slightly different take. I'm curious how I knew it was poison, because I saw her pouring something into the coffee. And I don't know if it kills me in a minute or kills me in a day or doesn't kill me at all, just makes me throw up. I mean, I have no really idea how poisonous it is. Ultimately, I think I took a cue from Toby that regardless of what happens, you're either getting a divorce or calling the police and or whatever else, but you wouldn't want to be in a position where the next few years of your life you were trying to defend yourself for having poisoned somebody you didn't poison. So I have a feeling I wouldn't let them drink it, but there would be no time for me to have an experiment or anything, because all this happened within a minute, right? It's not like you had an hour to think about it. You saw her put the poison in the cup. Not a lot of time to go call the TV station or any other thing. So I wouldn't let her drink it, but I hope it doesn't happen to me so I don't have to find out.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Tom. Ali.
Thank you. Well, I see two people were on the same wavelength as me over here. First of all, I don't actually know if it is poison that they've put in it or something else. So, first of all, it would send me in a slingshot of thoughts of, oh my gosh, is it poison? Is it something else? And second of all, I would have discreetly switched the cups so that I had the cup instead. But instead of me drinking it, I would seriously mind. Is this underrated, overrated? I would seriously mindfuck the moment and pretend I'm about to take a sip and then put it down. And then carry on talking and then carry on, try taking another sip and then without taking a sip and then put it down again. So just so that I can see the reaction, because build up on the suspense, on the nervousness of the other person. And then say, I saw you putting something in my cup. You have a big explanation right now. Then I would probably call the cops and get them arrested.
All right.
Obviously, after being tested, the cup being tested.
Yeah.
What would you do?
So I'm going to take on another approach, and I kind of was on the same wavelength with Yellow Majesty. But like, listen, guys, you're making a bit of the Mickey of the situation, because the first thing that I would think about is that my spouse is a psychopath and soon to be a murderer. And this is a moral dilemma that I now need to consider my own safety and security, because this situation right now, this person's trying to kill you, right? I would probably find a way that I need to go to the police right away. I need to get out of this house. What if this person has a plan B with a knife or a gun? You don't just lightly poison somebody to death. This is a frightening moral dilemma where either I die or she dies. So what I would do is I would need to turn on my acting skills and say, honey, I saw you put a new sweetener in your drink, and I'm just so impressed that you're making this change. Where did you get the sweetener? And tell me more. This is awesome. Can I take a sip, for example? And then if she gives me the cup like she really wants to kill me, I'll by mistake drop it on the floor, spills everywhere. Obviously, I'll do it like a mistake. And then I've turned a very deadly potential situation into an amicable situation for her to plot another day and for me to find a way to go straight to the police, find the poison. You know, we can track it on the floor. So that's my approach. Safety, security. This is a very scary situation happening. All right. So the table is opened now, so it means that you can raise your hand. I'd like you guys to share your thoughts. We've got 6 minutes, still early. So let me hear about what you have to say. And let's go to Dr. Sam.
So Timon, yeah, I just wanted to find out, does everybody know the mushroom joke so I can share it and just lighten the mood?
Let's do it.
No, yeah,
All
please
right,
say
and
it.
okay, and then just to tell you a real situation that actually did happen with me. My wife dragged me off to Switzerland just on a weekend, and we went into this posh hotel, and there was an espresso machine which we'd never seen before, with little capsules. So it was quite. And she said to me, you know, I'm going to make you a cup of coffee, and I don't want you to look. And she started making the coffee, and I peeked out of it, and I saw she took something out of her bag and threw it into my cup. And I was quite nervous. I mean, you know, we've got a good relation. I was quite nervous about what's going on, and I didn't want to say anything. I mean, there was no underlying situation. I didn't want to say anything. And I said, great, you know, let's drink this coffee together. And we sat down, and I said, fortuitously, she went to the bathroom, and I looked in her bag to see what was going on, and she had actually put a Viagra in my coffee.
Awesome.
All right.
So the story goes like this with the mushrooms. I hope everybody knows what Viagra is. So
Come
of course
on, guys,
it was
more emojis.
it was really an ego turn down for me. So the story goes, a woman goes up to her best friend and says, you know what, I'm getting married for the 4th time. And I mean, her friend was just flabbergasted, how wonderful, how great. But if you don't mind me asking, is how did your first husband die? And she said, well, you know, he ate poisonous mushrooms. And of course, she sympathized profusely. And how did your second husband die? Oh, no, he also ate these malicious mushrooms and died. And, you know, once again, she was very sympathetic. And tell me, how did your third husband die? Oh, no, he also ate poison mushrooms. So this was the 5th husband. And then how did your 4th husband die? Oh, he had a broken neck. And she asked, and how did that happen? No, he wouldn't eat the mushrooms. So that was the joke. Okay.
Right, thank you.
I know another version where he died from the pan. Why did he die from the pan? Because I hit him over the head with it because he wouldn't eat the pan and the mushrooms.
Eat the mushrooms.
All
Thank
right,
you, Dr. Sam.
so
It was awesome.
commercial break.
Pleasure.
And that is today's commercial break goes to Ali's
So we're going to go
Awakened
to hand raisers.
Awareness. Do we have any hand raisers?
No hand raisers. Everybody
no,
put their hands down.
yeah,
Come
I
on.
don't
Anyone
see
else want
anyone.
to add something? Okay.
I see
So we'll go
JVB.
to the next question. Sam.
JVB has got her hand up. JVB.
Okay. Okay, I think Altspace. Can you guys hear me? Not somebody?
I can hear you, Ali.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, there. We couldn't hear you.
All right.
Tim, let's go to the next question.
Okay, let's go to the next question. So the next question is very similar. I've decided for the moral dilemma is we're going to choose one dilemma and then we're going to put 2 different situations. One's going to be a quickie and then one is going to be more intense. JVB, if you did raise your hands, please raise it again and I will get straight back to you. So the second moral dilemma for today, similar but different. You see your spouse put poison in the coffee in order to poison or kill you, but due to nervousness, you see them put poison in their own coffee instead. They then drink the coffee, which causes them to convulse. Do you take your spouse to the hospital or leave him or her to die? And we'll start off with the first person on the hot seat, the Cosmic Captain. Hello there.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
So this is my first time here. This is pretty interesting, but I see that this is slightly different. So I guess for me, it's pretty simple. I would just directly, try to administer what I know for, basic, like, actually, in a poison situation, it's not good to just assume things, so I'd probably just call, like, poison control and then try to do my best. Because it's really just, for me, as simple as seeing the value in human life in general, and maybe someone else doesn't see that, but that's not, like, my issue. That doesn't mean I have to live within that, idealism, so, but, it doesn't mean I have to continue to have them in my life. Or maybe we can talk about, what's going on. Like a lot of other people have been touching down upon, because I think really in essence, it probably just boils down to a communication issue of something that's not really getting communicated, and they feel like maybe in a trap position or something and suicidal, or they're kind of going through some, health issues mentally or even emotionally. We don't know what's happening. So it's always worth trying to figure that out, even if it is someone who doesn't like you, it doesn't mean you can't try to know or try to understand what they know or what they're trying to, So anyway, in essence, I think that's what I would do. I'm done.
Thank you very much and welcome again. Thank you. That was awesome. Toby.
Thank you.
Hello. So yeah, we're going on the assumption that they have drunk it then. I would definitely call for an ambulance and sort of explain what was going on. But from what the Cosmic Captain said, it's like, let's sit down and talk. If they've gone so far as to try and to poison you, I don't think I'd want to be in the same room as them ever again. So I would just sort of call a hospital, make sure they've gone safely, and then just never contact them, not face to face ever again. If they want to talk to it over a message, fine, but I am not being in the same room as them ever again if they're going to be poisoning me.
Alright, awesome. Thanks, Toby. I think I inflicted fear with this dilemma. Let's go to Kristen, I think. Kristen, I think, is just away for now. But let's move to the next person, and that is Antiload.
Antiload, hi and welcome.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, hi.
Yes, we can.
Hi. I think this would come under the mental health issue. Obviously there's a backstory which is pretty easily glossed over because we don't know the backstory. Could be abuse issues, could be anything, but I agree with the last speaker. I would call the ambulance, call the hospital, and then I would never want to be in that room with them again. As a follow-up, I'd be interested to see what the motivation was to kill me, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who know me who would love to kill me, but in this kind of personal situation, I think I would call the ambulance and have nothing to do with them, but I'd be intrigued to know what their motivation was. And that's it, really.
Awesome, thank you.
Right, thank you.
Harry Horler.
Yeah, I really like that you took the same dilemma to the next level, really. But yeah, I think my default, on the one hand, my default answer would be the same, along the same lines as my last one, which would be obviously I would uh, take them to the hospital. I will not leave them to die because I don't think it's a good decision to punish someone by death, no matter what they did. You need to let them digest what they did, and also death would be too quick of a punish for such a thing. They need a bit more time to learn what they did. But on the other hand, I really agree with what Ultra Funky said earlier, and it's another good reason why you need to take her to the hospital, because you need to find out what you did. Otherwise, your whole life you're gonna ask yourself, why did she ever wanted to poison me, or what did I do so wrong? So I do also would like to find out exactly what I did. So I think Ultra Funky really nailed it with the answer last time.
Perfect. Thanks, Harry Horler. Let's go to Marta.
Hello.
Hi.
Same thing. I think it would definitely be a mental health issue. It's different when somebody's trying, attempting suicide and hurting themselves, but when they go the extra step and now they want to kill you, there's definitely, a mental health issue. I don't think it has to do with something I did wrong or anything. But I mean, obviously I've done something that made them angry, but it wasn't like I did something consciously to bother them, to bug them. So I would do the same thing though. Definitely get them to a hospital. And then from there, I wouldn't want to be with them again either. But I would be concerned that you just take them to the hospital and that's it. They definitely need some help in the challenges that they're facing. So that's my point.
Very good. Thanks, Marta. Let's go to J Main 46.
Hey, how you doing?
Going good.
By the way, is it possible that you could turn my girl on here too? Because we're coupled up here together. But I'll give you what I think.
Yeah, no.
Can you hear me?
Let's do it. Let's get the.
Okay, so
depend.
I'm looking at it like this. We were debating this. Yes, depending like this. Depending on if it's like a passionate kill, like say, okay, they doing something to you and you're doing something to them to say, okay, I'm gonna kill you, then I would say I would probably just die with them. But depending on if you guys really hated your guts, I would let them die. That's just me.
All right.
Do you want to be with the person? Right. Do you want to be with the person when you kill them or try to poison them to take the poison? Or is it like they're killing you, they're putting poison in your drink, and then you see them do it and then they take it, and then you're just like, well, bye. That's how I feel. That's just me.
All right. Let's hear what your girlfriend has to say. Valencia Anna. Valencia NA.
Yes, Valenciana. Okay, so if you poisoned me and I caught you poisoning me, I would be so super sad. But I would take it as well. And I would just... we would be poisoned together. Yes.
Right, exactly.
Because then if I report him, he would go to jail, he would go to psychiatric help. I mean, all these things would happen to him. So I would go with you, my love. But I'd give you hell in heaven. I would not talk to you for a good century.
Or you can have a head start down here first.
Huh?
Or you can have a head start from Earth before it happens. I'm just kidding.
There you go.
That's true too.
Yep.
Thank you guys, awesome. Scorpio X, hi, welcome back.
Hello, everyone. My thoughts are, I think it depends what country you're in. Because if you're in the UK, then the person that you send to hospital gets saved for free. If you're in the US, then you send them to hospital. If you don't pay, I guess, then they die. And you've got to pay a lot of money to save that person that tried to kill you but then killed themselves. So I think it would depend on financial situation, really. You could afford to save their life in America. But then also I think I would have to do what I think would be the right thing, would be regardless of what they've done, I am not judge, jury, or executioner. So it's up to me to decide by law what's going to happen to them. So I suppose I would ring the ambulance, and then while waiting for the ambulance, I would also call the police and get them to come over, and then just go from there. But then I wouldn't want to see them again, like everyone else has said. But then I would want to know why as well. If there is a why, sometimes there isn't a why. Sometimes people just want to hurt people and there's no reason whatsoever.
All right,
that's my
awesome.
answer.
Thank you. Before we go to JVB, I just want to go to one of our guests who often come to this event, and that's Aziz. We just got to see if her sound is working today. Aziz, you will be having the megaphone shortly.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can.
Hi, yes.
Hey, nice to see you. I was just listening for a long time because everybody, like, I listen to everybody and partially I see my answers in different people. Here, I would conclude that I think I couldn't just walk away. Like, certainly I will save my spouse because this is a very hard morally, like, to see people dying. So I think I would never allow myself to how do I say, to ruin my own conscience by that. Like, I would never forget that. I think just in front of myself to let somebody die when I'm able to do something. So I would certainly save my spouse, but at the same time, I was listening to different people and I was not sure that I can do something like this, just shut the door and never see this person and never talk to them. I think I never, like, in my life, I never leave the doors open. I try not to do that because new doors, they don't open if you don't shut the other ones. So I would definitely talk to these people, like to this person, first of all for myself, because it's very important to understand what could have gone wrong. So somebody wants to me dead or like to poison me or do anything else if it's not poison or whatever. On the other hand, I would really feel sorry for this person and I would really want to help this person. Like, what happened that you didn't, like, you preferred to poison somebody instead of communicating or trying to solve the problem. So I would definitely save this person and then come, like, really try. I think while this person is in the hospital, I'll have time to think and really analyze before I come and talk to them without emotions as much as possible. So that's what I think.
Awesome. Thank you,
Very
Aziz.
good point there about closing the doors behind you. Very good point.
All right.
Thank you, Aziz.
Now we can go to JVB. Hello.
JVB.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same as it was before. I just want to add that what I would be asking myself is not what I have done to this person, but why I married a sociopath in the first place. Why did I marry a psychopath? I think is a very valid way to spend some time. But I think more importantly in this question is this a spouse who criticizes my driving? And if so, no, I wouldn't take him to the hospital. I'm not going to sit around and listen to them kvetch at me. Okay, that's it.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, JVB. Good spirits today. Let's go to Ghostly.
Hello, can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, morally, I would obviously call the ambulance because I couldn't leave someone dying like that because they're your spouse and you obviously would be emotionally connected to them. So I would call the police, but most people that husband and wife, when they kill each other, it's mostly based off like a life insurance policy or some sort of money, or even then it could be a mental issue. So not only would they be a danger to you, but they are a danger to other people around you. So they would obviously need to get the help they need to get. if you even would, I don't know, it's a hard situation for me, but they would need to get the help they need to get. That's all I need to say.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Norway,
you. Interesting
Dylan.
point.
Good to see you.
I think legally you have an obligation. Otherwise, if you don't call the police or the ambulance, you're complicit in that murder. But it is kind of funny because you would be so angry that the first few minutes you'd probably be tempted to let them die anyway. But whenever you're in a situation you see someone dying, you're obligated to help them. Otherwise, you're complicit in a murder.
Straight to the law. Awesome, thank you. Ultra Funky Claves.
Ultra funky.
Yeah. Okay, you hear me?
Yeah.
We hear
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Good. I'm just gonna start out not with this one. The first one was I was answering Norway's question. As long as the person is, you can contact the person, you can talk to the person. If they say no, that they don't want to have help from you, you're not allowed to help them. Not until they get unconscious, you're allowed to help them when they cannot answer the question. So I think you have the possibility to they can avoid you for as long as they want to until they cannot anymore, but then it's probably too late. So that's one thing. And to the other moral question we had before, I was thinking like this. What was the thing there? I forgot it. I'm going to take the question instead. Okay. The thing is, I'm when I'm looking at this question, is I see it as like someone making a suicide. Because she won't tell you that she put the poison in your coffee, because she wouldn't say it if she want to kill you. And then she puts the poison in her own coffee, and she's nervous about it. So how I read this question is like I feel like this is more a suicide in this situation than it is somebody trying to kill me. And with that, I'm thinking like when some person tries to kill themselves, I feel like it's something like they don't have the tool set to answer some question for them or continue in their life, and they really need to learn this thing. And not having that is not always, it's not their own fault. I cannot say always their fault, but it's not their own fault because people haven't told them things so that they would know better. So maybe that's their choice to solve the problem because they don't know how to take themselves out of it. So I would save them and take make everything for them to survive, and from try to help them, because being in a really black situation, black-minded place, it's really hard, and it's already tough being there. So I would help them. And I always say this: the most beautiful thing you can give a person is telling them when they're doing something wrong, because then they can change.
Thank you.
That's all I have to say.
I mean, completely different wavelength. Great, thank you. I actually had the same way of thinking in this one. Let's go to Dr. Sam. Just a second.
Yes.
So
from a moral point of view, obviously you would immediately react and take the person to hospital or call an ambulance. But and I think that was the consensus, and that's probably the right thing to do. But I think some things that was said, like J-Main 46 alerted me and said, let them die. And then Aziz said, is this a psychopath? So if there has been a tendency of this person over a number of years to exhibit psychopathic tendencies, where there's cruelty to children, cruelty to animals, she has shown to be a danger to society, for example, and there are just demons in her head, I think I would take a little bit of extra time before I call the ambulance. Thanks, Timon.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sam. Yellow Majesty.
Yellow Majesty.
Yeah. So I'm going to reinforce the cynical narrative. By the way, I wonder how many of you have actually lived together with a psychopath or not. Because many of your answers are highly altruistic, not realistic. Sorry for saying that, but I would actually believe that this is a complete lunatic, a psychopath. I haven't done anything wrong, and I don't deserve to be poisoned by a moron. Despite how much I would love her or not, despite how dark place she is in or not, she's actually trying to kill me. So what I would do is to call the ambulance, take you to the hospital, and then from there on, I would actually engage into acting. I would sit there together with her. In some sly way, I would try to make her confess and admit and record her while she's doing that. And then tell her that I will actually forgive her, and then go to the police and turn her in, and then get the hell away from her as far away as possible. That's my answer.
Perfect. Thank you. Rico Suave 23.
Hi, welcome.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome. Hi, everybody. Hey, hosts here. Just want to say, hope everyone's doing well tonight, according to this dilemma. I hope nobody's fearing that their spouse or their lover might do something to you in the like
There's always a possibility.
This is always a possibility. So always keep your coffee. Always make your own coffee. Make sure, just like a drink at the bar, you always make sure you open it up first. So I think the moral of the story is take your own coffee. Do not allow others to serve it to you without seeing it. You don't know, like my man said, Mr. Sorry if I can say your name correctly, Timon?
Yo.
Timon, yeah, like you said, always just, you never know what can happen. And in this situation, I think you guys all just pretty much summed up any thoughts that went through my head. So, yeah, that's all. And you as well, Miss. I'm so sorry, I didn't get your name. Also on the panel.
Ellie.
Ellie, hi.
Oh, Ellie. Hello. Yeah, I was on here a few weeks ago, and it was a fantastic thing. But yeah, that's all. Take him to the hospital or die. I think everybody just summed everything all up, pretty much. So. That's all.
And make sure you make your own coffee.
They summed up.
Yeah, and
take
hey,
to the
yeah,
hospital,
you guys,
die.
and no, and this is a real thing. People slip a lot of these clonazepams, lorazepams, benzodiazepines in people's drinks, especially in college, and then they have their way with the men or the women or the animal at some point, because they'll do it to an animal too. So they, I don't know if they're sick or demented, but we all just have urges. Right? We all are just we're all very impulsive people. We don't know. But anyways, so make your own coffee, ladies and gents, as of tonight. Okay? Even mommy.
Thanks.
Thanks, Rico. I don't know what type of urges you have. Ellie, let's go.
I see Kristen is back. Kristen, would you like to add something before I continue?
Sure. So I found this dilemma a little interesting, and I'm sorry I didn't get to hear everybody's thoughts, but a few weeks ago, the death penalty had been brought up, and for the most part, a lot of people, or the majority of people, were against it. I feel like this is not much different, but then like the term psychopath and sociopath come up, and that puts like almost a pit in my stomach, because there's not a lot that we can do for people that have those types of personality disorders. So I liked what Dr. Sam said, that maybe, or perhaps it wasn't Dr. Sam, but it was like almost like a slow phone call to kind of, maybe prolong treatment. And I'm thinking that could, maybe cause a little bit more damage. But then I think I probably wouldn't be able to live with myself if that caused, some type of brain damage. So, like, like I would call the ambulance. I would, make sure they got to the hospital, but I would also make sure that they were arrested and, justice was served, however that looked, because it's not to be taken lightly. And, I don't think any type of urges that were discussed with putting, Klonopin and Xanax and stuff like that in someone's drink is an urge that somebody would generally have. So if that was had, then they should definitely have the consequences of that. That's without fail. They should absolutely see jail time. Your life is more important than what somebody else decides or deems necessary. So those are my thoughts on what I had caught.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Paul Laff. Paul Laff, the megaphone is
Oh,
yours.
yes, okay. Yeah. Yes, of course you take them to the hospital, then you report them to the police. If you don't take them to the hospital, you have guilt. You have guilt. You carry guilt. But yeah, then they should be prosecuted. Obviously, you divorce them. Yeah. But you want to know why they're trying to poison you in the first place, is what I'd like to know.
Perfect. Thank you, Paul Laff. Give the benefit of the doubt. Samir, megaphone's yours.
I think that is stupid if somebody's gonna poison them on purpose. So I think you should call the cops and report it.
All right. Sound a little young there,
Thank you.
Samir. Ali, your thoughts?
Firstly, if you are with a psychopath and they're trying to kill you, I'm sure they would have shown signs prior to them trying to poison you, and that should have raised some concern already. And hopefully not having to gotten to this point. But in this case, I'm not the same person as they are. I mean, my heart is different from everybody else's, so I would definitely take them to hospital, but I would also call the cops as well and get them arrested.
Awesome.
Once they're out of hospital and doing well.
Awesome.
What about you, Mr. Tim?
Yes, I find this, I don't know if you have been here and you heard my first answer. Believe it or not, I find this a little bit less frightening because, okay, so they've taken the drink. They are, so they're most likely not gonna have a plan B with a knife or a gun or something. But the thing that I have to ask is that we don't know the facts, and that there might be these mental health issues that are a lot bigger than the situation, and we'll need to consider them going to a mental institution, because you can call them a psychopath, you can call them crazy or whatever, but what if it's just a part of their brain? What if it's they have some extreme form of bipolar, or they're schizophrenic? I mean, look, I'm not a psychologist, but I have heard these terms. And what if it's a part of the brain that they've lost these moral grounds, or worse, who said it? I think it was Ultra Funky Claves. What if they were actually poisoning their own drink on purpose? What if they've been through complete depression, which we didn't know, and they decided to take their own life? So either way, because now I am safe, the proverbial we, I would take them straight to the hospital, and then I need to find out more details. Instead of this, the person must die, or if the person would have poisoned me, I should poison them. Like, two wrongs don't make a right, as cliched as it sounds. And also, you are opening a can of worms with law, with trials, with cases, with where is the proof? So take them to the hospital, you're safe, they will be sorted out, whether it's a mental institution, but more likely I would not get back into that relationship. Okay, so now let's go to the people who have raised their hands. And if you haven't spoken, feel free to raise your hands as well. And if you're enjoying this event, make sure you go to VR Digital Citizens on Facebook group and Instagram. VR Digital Citizens on Instagram. And also, Oh My Brain page, because we have new events. Oh My Brain tackles psychology, spirituality, science, quantum, and philosophy type questions. Moral dilemma, as you can see, are these highly ethical type questions that we have to choose between the two evils. The social dilemma are more everyday dilemmas. That happens on a Monday. And then we have Ali, who has launched her event called Awakened Awareness, where it is also more on philosophy and trying to manifest better situations into your life. So make sure you join Ali on a Sunday, and that's about it. So let's go to hand
Also,
raisers. Yes, Ali.
Just to add, before we go to hand raisers, if you guys enjoy our events, please go to You Are Here on the panel on the left, and then there's a little heart or rate, and please make sure to rate us.
Oh, wow. I've never seen that. I'm going to rate it right now. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Ali. I didn't know there is such a thing. And do that with most events that you go to. So we would highly would like it if you rated the events. And also if you rated a 1 or 2, let us know why. We want to improve. We can only get better. So we thank you, Ali. That is awesome.
No, let's go to hand raisers.
Hand raisers, and
let's see the hand raisers.
Start with anti-load.
Hi. Yeah, I just want to take an issue about what you said about part of the brain. I would think if somebody was poisoning someone, it would show a lot of premeditation. So I guess that would be like a pre-planned murder attempt. That would be somebody that actually planned to murder you for whatever reason, because we don't really know the context. But that would show like pre-planned. So there'll be a lot of planning and going into that. So yeah, that is something completely different. That's a different scale to somebody who's depressed and maybe takes a knife to you or hits you over the head with a baguette or a spanner, whatever it may be. Pre-planned is a completely different kettle of fish.
I would argue, anti-load, before you mute yourself, that what if this person a week ago fell and hit their head, and there is some type of brain damage that has taken away their thoughts of rights and wrongs, and they're a lot more angrier, they're a lot more depressed, and they can't really think straight, and we don't really know. Because there are people that change their entire personalities. Some of them lose their religions just by hitting their head. So I'm just giving an example where they would have lost that part of who they were. I think that actually brings...
Also, they would have shown signs.
I think that
I
would have
can,
definitely shown signs. Yes.
Yeah, no, I can understand where you're coming from, but to knock your head and be like, to upset some chemical imbalance in your brain is a little bit different to a premeditated murder attempt, because then that is like that would be a longevity thing. It would be like having to think about what poison they're going to use, how the situation around this morning coffee where they're going to apply the medicine. That is something that is, I think, if that was taken to a court of law, so like they got rushed to hospital, you called the ambulance, which I would, and they went to and I would call the cops, and they got took to they came up to a trial, and they're in the trial, and we're in the dock. The first thing the prosecution would say to them is, they would make a case for the fact that this was premeditated, and then the defense would probably make the case that, as you just stated, that the way that insane, psychopathic, all these words. However, that is just a different just a different level, like sort of having an impulse to be in like a premeditated murder.
And unless it was a premeditated suicide. So let's now go to the next speaker, because as you know, the event is closed. It's 3 minutes past the event, which means that if you exit this event, you won't be able to come back. So I do want to get to the hand raisers and hear what everyone has to say. And let's go with Paul Laff again. Did you raise your hand again, sir?
I didn't. My mistake. I don't know how that happened.
It's all right. All right.
Sorry, I didn't.
It's okay.
No worries.
Then let's go to Ultra Funky.
Oh, not in this subject. I had something to say. I wanted to talk to Samir. Hi, I'm right over here on the sofa. You're a really brave guy. Sounds like you're really interested in listening to what we talk about here. But it sounded like you were under 16 years old. Is that correct?
I wish we knew how to find out people's ages.
And we have a rule that you should not be under 16 years old. Even if I understand you that this is interesting, some things are not easy to unhear. You know, the things we talk about. So I would say like this, maybe it's better for you to leave. So nothing happens, so you have to think about it. I don't want to be bad because I think you're really brave for being here and you're mature when you were talking. So nothing about that, but when you're younger than 16 years old, sometimes we discuss things here that isn't appropriate for a young mind to listen to. Just so you know that. I just want to tell you that.
All right, I've sent him.
So you see my perspective on it.
You should keep yourself safe.
Yeah.
Why he's saying it.
Just-
It's all about safety.
Yeah.
And watching
Think
out on
about
the
it.
It's all right. I sent him a good
okay.
message on his way. And you know, the unfortunate thing is I wouldn't know who is under 16 or not. So if you do know anyone under 16, let me know. The rules are there. No person's under the age of 16. But yeah, thanks a lot, Ultra Clave, Ultra Funky. Let's go
Yes, thank
to the finally Dr. Sam.
Timon, yeah, I just confer with Ultra Funky. Certain discussions we shouldn't allow children here. They can misunderstand or misinterpret what we're saying. So I think you're 100% correct. Thank you for doing that. The other thing I wanted to mention, Rico Suave, I don't know if it was a tongue-in-cheek statement about making your own coffee, but I had a 21-year-old cousin who lives in Columbia, Tennessee, who went to a nightclub and they put something in her drink and she died on the spot. So I think one has to be very cautious when one goes out to a nightclub, that you control your drink, you get your drink. This happens very often, and unfortunately a young innocent life was destroyed. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Antiload brought it up. There are certain psychiatric conditions, personality disorders, where you can be two different persons. You can be an amazing person in one personality and a vicious psychopath in a second personality. So, you know, and those people definitely do need help. It's a dissociative order. I know very often people think that it is schizophrenia, but it's not. It's a dissociative disorder. So just as a matter of interest, that's all I wanted to say, Timo. Thank you.
Multiple personality disorders. Let's go to Moonbee. Hello and welcome.
Hello, hi. It's just interesting to hear everyone's view, and I think everyone's got obviously a similar view of what they would do in a situation like this. I think when something happens like this, your body goes into the nervous system response, like fight, flight, or freeze response, and sometimes someone could go into freeze, like a freeze, and into shock and not know what to do. So that person, the spouse could die with the response that you've gone into kind of freeze mode and you don't know what to do. And then the other thing is like when you flight, you run away, kind of not knowing what to do. Your body is in that response, that nervous system response that we all have when something is, you go into survival mode, or you go into fight, which would probably be to either call the hospital or obviously some people would probably just let them die in that. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of bring that kind of up. And we sometimes we don't even know what how our body's going to respond to a situation like that. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of bring up the nervous system.
I want to ask you,
and how it
Moonbee,
reacts.
by
Yeah.
having these conversations, do we change our consciousness possibly for when fight, flight, or freeze takes place?
Yeah, I think I think being aware of I think it takes consistency, and it takes kind of our neural pathways are the way they are from our conditioning as how we were raised as children. Our fight and flight, freeze, our nervous system response are kind of conditioned from how we were raised and how we were conditioned as young. So I feel like that it's kind of a neural pathway, and that takes a lot of consciousness and consistency to change the neural kind of pathway. So yeah, but talking about it like this and having kind of discussions like this, I think makes people aware of that. And them, it's a reflection. We can start reflecting on how we would respond to dilemmas like this, or similar situations.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. I asked because
Thank you.
I remember I had a traumatic situation once. I don't need to mention it, but basically before the situation, I had a dream. And this dream kind of preempted of the, it was a normal situation that would happen in South Africa, with crime and all that. But this situation took place. I had a dream, and in my dream, it took me straight back during the situation of what I did in my dream to combat the issue. And so now being here in this room, hearing from 20 different people or 30 different people from all around the world and different scenarios, I'm sure we're changing a lot of our neurons. The neuroplasticity is changing in ways that we've never thought before, and this could actually help us or help others save their own lives or our lives, or just in general. And that's why I think these discussions are actually quite essential, because we aren't taught these things in school. We're not taught these things by parents. So where are we taught them? You read them now and then. When I meet somebody and say, can you tell me a moral dilemma? All I hear is, oh, the tram. All I hear is the tram and the train. I'm like, no, there are millions of moral dilemmas, and that's why we've started these discussions, especially on VR Digital Citizens. Wow, we just got a whole bunch of hand raises. So let's go to, thank you, Moonbee, for your thoughts and expertise, I assume. Yellow Majesty.
Yeah, for this particular event. It's been all events actually very nice, and I do agree with you that it elaborates our way of thinking and expressing ourselves, and which affects our cognitive abilities in a positive way. And I would like to thank you for making me scared shitless from now on when I go to the coffee shop, because I'm just sitting here thinking, damn, those people at the coffee shops, coffee houses, they have so much power. Imagine how easy it would be for them to just put a little poison into our coffee without we even noticing it. So from now on, when I'm going to order a cafe latte or anything like that, I will be much more attentive. Thank you.
You're gonna go to the kitchen, make it your own. Thanks, Yellow Majesty. Then we have Scorpio X.
Hello. I wanted to go back to what Dr. Sam said about DID, like dissociative identity disorders. Like if that was the case with, you know, the partner who did the poisoning, normally DID comes from past trauma, like very, very severe past trauma. So then, in light of that, I would think that I would be a bit more lenient on them because of their mental condition. They might not have control over it. You know, it wasn't essentially them doing it. It was, you know, a personality hijacker that had done it. But then I would think that you would know if your partner had PID or MPD. You know, you would see, but then I don't know exactly how it works and at what age these personalities can come out. You know, whether they just blink into existence in a moment or whether they're in there trying to come out for a while. But then talking about other mental disorders, it's like bipolar and stuff, I think there's a lot of stigma around them, especially schizophrenia. And I understand some schizophrenic people can be dangerous, but I'll say, not lesser as in like they're less to deal with and live with, but lesser ones like, you know, bipolar or borderline personality. Generally, I don't think those people, that makes them want to kill someone. I think it can certainly help, especially with emotional imbalances. It's I don't know how to word this. Just, you know, the stigma around them. I don't think it's good to maybe associate them with killers. Yeah, that's what I'd like to say.
Unless it's suicide, Scorpio X, because many people with bipolar have thought about suicide.
Oh, of course, yes. I understand that.
Okay, cool. And finally, we have Ultra Funky. Again, I see you raised your hand, or didn't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
I did.
Oh, we lost you there. I'll bring you right back.
Okay, you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear
Yep.
you now.
Okay, I'm thinking of the what Moonbee said about learning things when you're young and your neural pathways and that kind of stuff, and what I have realized through my life, being not a very old man but an older guy, I noticed that you learn things by heart without reacting. Your value system is when you go to 10, 12 years old and you do things automatically and you just live your life, and the answer you automatically respond to and the way you behave you have built into your personality. You're programmed for that, and then you continue in life, and then things happens to you, like we have these discussions, and here you're going to understand or decide when you listen to other people what is right or wrong, but you're only understanding it in the perspective that you heard somebody, and you can incorporate it in the way you think if you want to, but you can also forget it. But when you're younger, you learn into your core person. So for a person to learn into the core when they get older, normally they have to go into some kind of crisis, you know, where they don't have, like I said in my question, the tools to continue their life because they don't know how to think, because they didn't get it when they were young, and they probably didn't understand things when growing up, so they could like decide what they wanted to do. So when you go into this really like the crisis and you reprogram yourself into the core, that's when you have the chance to learn things into neural pathways, like Moonbee said. So I think that it's not so easy, even if we have these discussions here right now, to really, for 100%, you understand the question, you understand the discussion, but I don't think you really will understand it into your core personality. That's the thing I want to say about it. It takes so much more to learn things or decide. You can be smart about it, you can think correct, but you will never use it 100%. Right. That's the only thing I want to say about it.
Thanks, Ultra Funky. So that's the end of the moral dilemma for the week. If you want to enjoy a nice Mediterranean experience, we have the Greek Taverna on the top right corner. Go to the portal, favorite it. Remember to rate this event. We would love to hear your thoughts. And we will see you when, Ali? You're good with remembering these things.
Sunday.
Sunday, yes. We have the Greek mythology.
Greek
and
mythology.
We have the Awakened Awareness, and then Monday for the Social Dilemma. But thanks a lot for your guys' time and being here and your thoughts and, you know, teaching us. It's really been amazing. You guys keep well.
Thank you, guys.
And you can continue the discussion if you want. I'm just taking mute all, and I'm getting out of here. Other than that, you can stick around and have a discussion. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you,
Thanks
Ali.
for joining. Thank you.